And across our country, people will be waking up to the news, relieved that a weight has been lifted, a burden finally removed from the shoulders of this great nation. And now we can look forward again, walk into the morning, the sunlight of hope, pale at first, but getting stronger through the day, shining once again on a country with the opportunity, after 14 years, to get its future back.
In recent local elections, a dramatic shift in the political landscape has emerged, signalling serious concerns for Keir Starmer and the Labour Party. The results from constituencies that were once strongholds for Labour show a sharp decline in support, marking a troubling sign for the future of the party under Starmer's leadership. One of the most significant upsets occurred in the Mayfield ward in Redbridge, a traditionally Labour-dominated area in northeast London. Just 2 years ago, Labour enjoyed a commanding 71% of the vote in this area, a testament to their solid foundation among the local community, including a large and loyal Muslim population. However, this week, Labour's dominance crumbled as the Ilford Independents seized the seat with a staggering 42.5% of the vote. In contrast, Labour saw its vote share plummet by nearly 45%, a stark decline that left the political establishment in shock. The Conservatives trailed far behind, securing just 19.4%, with Reform UK capturing only a small portion of the vote. This defeat highlighted a growing frustration with Labour, especially among groups that had traditionally supported the party. This electoral shift is a direct consequence of dissatisfaction with a series of controversial policies under Starmer's leadership, particularly regarding the removal of winter fuel payments for pensioners and the continued approval of arms sales to Israel, amid heightened tensions in the Middle East. These decisions have sparked outrage, particularly among Labour's Muslim supporters, many of whom feel alienated by the party's direction. The anger and disillusionment within these communities were palpable, and this discontent was decisively reflected at the ballot box. The downfall in Mayfield was not an isolated incident. Labour also faced a significant defeat in Penlegea, Swansea, another stronghold for the party. The party's performance there was equally disappointing, with Labour securing a distant fourth place with only 6.6% of the vote, a sharp decline of 5.6 percentage points since the last election. In this area, an independent candidate emerged victorious, receiving 63.9% of the vote, while Reform UK and the Liberal Democrats secured meaningful portions of the electorate support. The losses in both of these constituencies illustrate a disturbing trend for Labour. The party, once synonymous with representing the working class, is now grappling with its inability to resonate with key voter groups. It appears that Starmer's leadership is losing touch with the very people Labour once fought to protect. These setbacks are indicative of a much larger problem: Labour's failure to maintain its relevance and address the pressing concerns of its base, leading to a growing fracture within the party itself. The shocking results from these constituencies paint a worrying picture of a political shift that Labour can no longer ignore. As the political landscape in the UK continues to evolve, another significant development has taken place in the wake of Labour's declining performance in key constituencies. This shift has not been limited to one or two isolated areas, but is now spreading across the country, particularly in regions where Labour once felt secure. In Penlegea, Swansea, traditionally considered one of Labour's strongholds in South Wales, the results were a glaring sign of the party's waning influence. In this area, Labour finished a distant fourth, securing a meagre 6.6% of the vote, marking a sharp decline of 5.6 percentage points since the last election. The once-old Labour base in this part of Wales had clearly eroded, with an independent candidate taking the victory with a commanding 63.9% of the vote. This result was even more alarming when compared to the strong performances of both Reform UK and the Liberal Democrats, who garnered 10.7% and 13.6% of the vote, respectively. These losses are particularly troubling for Labour because South Wales has long been seen as a stronghold for the party, a place where its values of social justice, workers' rights and public services resonated with the electorate. To see Labour falter here, losing to independent candidates and smaller parties, marks a seismic shift in the party's electoral fortunes. This growing disillusionment among voters in South Wales is not an isolated incident, but a symptom of a broader trend of dissatisfaction with Labour's leadership under Keir Starmer. Many voters in Swansea and similar areas feel abandoned by a party that once championed their concerns, but now seems increasingly out of touch with the struggles they face. The lack of focus on pressing local issues, such as economic inequality and underfunded public services, has contributed to a growing sense that Labour is no longer the party of the working class. Instead, it has been perceived as a party of the establishment, more concerned with appeasing the political elite than addressing the real concerns of ordinary citizens. This perception is fueled by the growing backlash against Starmer's policies, especially regarding welfare cuts and austerity measures that have disproportionately affected working families. The fact that Reform UK, a party with a relatively new and smaller presence in the political landscape, could gain significant support in these traditionally Labour areas is telling. It suggests that a significant portion of the electorate is seeking an alternative to the mainstream political parties, driven by frustration with the status quo. As the results from Swansea and other constituencies continue to roll in, it is becoming increasingly evident that Labour's ability to hold on to its traditional base is under serious threat. The party's failure to adapt to the changing political environment and to reconnect with the communities that once supported it could have lasting consequences. The question now is whether Labour can find a way to regain its footing, or if it will continue to lose ground to smaller, more agile political forces. The rise of Reform UK in national polls has sent shockwaves through the British political establishment, signalling a significant shift in voter loyalty and political preferences. For the first time ever, Reform UK has surpassed Labour in national polling, claiming 26% of the vote, ahead of both Labour at 23% and the Conservatives at 22%. This dramatic shift highlights a deepening disillusionment with both the Labour Party and the Conservatives, with a growing portion of the electorate now looking for a viable alternative. Historically, Reform UK has been a fringe party, largely relegated to the periphery of British politics. But recent polling data suggests that it is gaining significant traction across the country. The rise of Reform UK is not just a flash in the pan, it is part of a broader trend of dissatisfaction with the traditional political establishment, as many voters feel their concerns have been ignored by the two main parties. The party's recent surge has been fueled by a combination of factors, including frustration with Labour's leadership under Keir Starmer, concerns over economic mismanagement, and growing anger at the perceived lack of action on key issues like immigration, public services, and the cost of living crisis. Reform UK's focus on anti-establishment rhetoric and promises to take on the political elite has resonated with voters who feel increasingly alienated by the mainstream parties. The party's message has struck a chord particularly among those who have felt left behind by both Labour and the Conservatives, with many seeing Reform UK as the only viable option for change. As the national polls continue to show Reform UK gaining ground, the party's success in recent by-elections, particularly in constituencies where Labour had traditionally been strong, signals a real shift in the political landscape. This surge in popularity has prompted some political analysts to question whether Reform UK could be on the cusp of becoming a significant political force in the UK, challenging the dominance of the Labour and Conservative parties. The growing discontent with Labour's leadership, coupled with the rise of Reform UK, has created a political environment in which voters are no longer wedded to the traditional two-party system. With each passing day, it becomes more evident that Reform UK is capitalising on the public's growing frustration with the political establishment. And if current trends continue, the party could play a pivotal role in shaping the future of British politics. Whether or not Reform UK can maintain this momentum remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: the political landscape of the UK is undergoing a significant transformation, and Reform UK is poised to be a major player in the coming elections. The situation surrounding the Labour Party has become increasingly precarious, with mounting challenges ahead. The party's struggle to regain the trust of the electorate has been underscored by the sharp losses it suffered in various by-elections and the alarming trends in national polling. Labour's once unshakable dominance in key constituencies is rapidly eroding, with Reform UK now gaining significant ground in areas that were traditionally Labour strongholds. This has left the party grappling with questions about its future direction, leadership, and policies. The rise of Reform UK, now surpassing Labour in some national polls, has compounded the party's difficulties. For years, Labour had positioned itself as the party of the working class, offering policies that aimed to address economic inequality, improve public services, and tackle issues like climate change. However, Recent decisions and the leadership of Keir Starmer have made it increasingly difficult for the party to maintain that connection with its base. Starmer's leadership has been marked by controversy, with many accusing him of being too cautious and disconnected from the real struggles faced by ordinary people. His stance on key issues such as economic policies, the handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, and Labour's stance on Brexit has left many disillusioned voters feeling alienated. The cost of living crisis has highlighted the gap between Labour's rhetoric and the everyday realities of people's lives. While Starmer has tried to maintain an optimistic view of the economy with claims that wages are rising and inflation is under control, millions of working families continue to struggle with rising costs and stagnant wages. Many critics have pointed out that Labour's policies, rather than offering concrete solutions, seem to be aimed more at appeasing middle-class voters and elites, leaving the working class behind. This perception of the party as out of touch with the needs of ordinary people has only deepened as the crisis worsens. The internal divisions within the party are also becoming more apparent. Many Labour MPs, once staunch supporters of Starmer's leadership, are now growing frustrated with the lack of progress and the failure to connect with the electorate. This disillusionment has led to several high-profile resignations and defections from the party, further weakening its position. With national elections fast approaching, the stakes have never been higher for Labour. The party's once formidable base is rapidly eroding, and it seems that its future is increasingly uncertain. The rise of Reform UK has created a perfect storm for Labour, as disaffected voters look for an alternative that promises real change and a break from the traditional political establishment. The next few months will be crucial in determining whether Labour can regain its footing and reconnect with the electorate, or if it will continue its downward spiral into political irrelevance. The pressure on Starmer to deliver tangible results and address the pressing concerns of the British public is mounting, and the party's fate may depend on whether it can offer a compelling vision for the future or continue to be mired in indecision and failure. The rise of Reform UK in national polls and its increasing success in by-elections has sent shockwaves through the political establishment, leaving Labour facing an unprecedented challenge. What was once seen as a minor political force has now positioned itself as a serious contender, gaining traction in key constituencies traditionally dominated by Labour. This shift is a stark reminder of the growing disillusionment with the traditional political establishment, and it underscores the urgency for Labour to reassess its strategy. For years, Labour has struggled to maintain its relevance in a rapidly changing political landscape. Under Keir Starmer's leadership, the party has faced numerous setbacks, including accusations of being too moderate, disconnected from its base, and hesitant to challenge the status quo. Many former Labour supporters have voiced their frustration, feeling that the party has abandoned its working-class roots in favour of appeasing the middle class and political elites. This shift in priorities has contributed to the growing support for Reform UK, which promises to break free from the traditional political narratives and offer a fresh approach. The rise of Reform UK has exposed deep flaws within Labour's leadership and has put Starmer on the defensive. His leadership has been criticised for its lack of boldness and its failure to provide clear, tangible solutions to the country's most pressing issues. With the cost of living crisis continuing to devastate working families, Labour's inability to address these concerns in a meaningful way has created a vacuum that Reform UK is eager to fill. For many voters, Reform UK's anti-establishment message is a welcome change from the perceived stagnation of the traditional political parties. While Labour has clung to its rhetoric of economic recovery and public service improvements, the reality for millions of Britons has been far different. Rising energy bills, stagnant wages, and worsening public services have made it clear that the promises of the Labour Party have not been enough to alleviate the struggles of ordinary citizens. Reform UK, by contrast, has positioned itself as a party that will prioritise the needs of the people over the interests of big corporations and political elites. The Labour Party's failure to offer real solutions has left many questioning whether the party is capable of addressing the country's deepest challenges. The increasing support for Reform UK is a warning sign that voters are no longer willing to accept the same political establishment that has failed them for years. The party's appeal is growing among those who feel left behind by both Labour and the Conservatives, and as Labour continues to falter, it is clear that Reform UK is gaining ground. The question now is whether Labour can reclaim its place as the voice of the working class, or if it will continue to lose ground to a party that is seen as offering real transformative change. The rise of Reform UK has cast a long shadow over Labour's future, and the pressure is on for the party to prove that it still has the ability to lead and address the needs of the British people. As the political landscape continues to shift, the growing dissatisfaction with the two major parties, Labour and the Conservatives, has opened the door for Reform UK to make significant inroads into British politics. With mounting frustration from the electorate, the rise of Reform UK has become more than just a passing trend. It represents a shift in the political conversation, one that reflects the increasing desire for change. For years, both Labour and the Conservatives have been criticised for their failure to address the concerns of ordinary citizens. As a result, Reform UK has emerged as a viable alternative, tapping into the discontent that has simmered beneath the surface of British politics. Their anti-establishment rhetoric and promises to challenge the status quo have resonated with voters, many of whom feel left behind by the traditional political system. The rise of Reform UK is especially significant as it highlights the lack of trust the public has in the current political leadership. Many feel that Labour, under Starmer's leadership, has failed to connect with its base, becoming increasingly distant from the working class it once championed. The party's inability to offer concrete solutions to the ongoing cost of living crisis and other pressing issues has only deepened the perception that it is out of touch with the electorate. As Reform UK continues to gain traction, it is clear that the political establishment is facing a serious challenge. The party's surge in national polls and local elections is a testament to the growing desire for an alternative, one that truly reflects the needs and desires of the British people. See you later.